The Dallas rap scene has seen some crazy moments, but this one is the most unexpected. The feds are celebrating because a video has resurfaced showing Yella Beezy admitting to the murder. Yella Beezy did not know the camera was rolling when he shared everything, and now it looks like the authorities are getting closer to go Yayo and Trap Boy Freddy. Let us get straight to what happened today. Yella Beezy shocked everyone by admitting to killing Mo3, and no one saw this coming in the Dallas rap scene. Yella Beezy was arrested on a capital murder charge for the murder of rapper Mo3. Many fans did not know that Yella was a person of interest in the case, but a video recently appeared that seems to have given him away instantly. Word spread fast that Yella had confessed to the murder on camera, but did this really happen? The rumors about him admitting to the murder started after his arrest when fans found an old interview where Yella explained how hits are carried out in Dallas after Mo3's death. Badass got shot in the leg in Dallas near the Big T Plaza Street Mall in Oak Cliff, which is Yella Beezy's hood. Everyone was watching to see how Yella Beezy would respond, especially since Beezy had been talking about running Dallas before the shooting. Then, in a surprising twist, Yella Beezy spoke up about the incident. He said that when it comes to his hood, he does not need to call the shots because his friends always handle business for him. "I do not have to do anything or make any calls," he said. "I do not need to talk tough. If you are not from here, do not come over here thinking you can run things." That is what the situation was about, trying to come over here. I did not have to do or say anything. Fans quickly understood his message. One fan commented, "You might have respect in your own city, but going to someone else's hood and talking tough is how you end up getting hurt." However, some people think Yella Beezy was also trying to explain how he was involved in taking down Mo3. But is that really what happened? Well, here is what we know. The indictment and the full story are still unfolding. The arrest warrant claims that Yella Beezy did not chase down and kill Mo3 on his own. Instead, he allegedly hired and paid a hitman for the job, turning it into a murder-for-hire operation. This is very similar to what Yella Beezy had described about Beezy's hit. While authorities have not shared exactly why they believe Yella Beezy hired someone to kill Mo3, the streets already seem to know what's going on. In court, during his bond hearing, prosecutors played disturbing footage showing how Mo3 was chased down and killed on the highway. Prosecutors accused Yella Beezy of masterminding the entire operation, leading to a charge of capital murder. This means that if convicted, Yella Beezy could face life in prison or even the death penalty. Fans are still trying to figure out how authorities connected Yella Beezy to the murder after 5 years. Personally, I am not surprised because the authorities already have 2 people in custody for the crime, and they are probably talking. If you remember, just a month after Mo3's death, Dallas police arrested 21-year-old Ken White in connection with the murder. Ken White pleaded not guilty to the murder charge, but was arrested for possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. He is currently serving a 9-year sentence for the gun charge. Here is where it gets interesting. The investigation showed that Ken White had ties to Yella Beezy, but at that time, Yella Beezy was not considered a person of interest. Then, 5 months after the shooting, another suspect, Devin Maurice Brown, was arrested in April 2021 for Mo3's murder. Investigators said that on the day of the shooting, Maurice Brown contacted several people asking about Mo3's whereabouts. They also revealed that Maurice Brown's phone records showed multiple calls with Ken White the day before and the day after the shooting. However, Ken denied ever knowing Maurice Brown or being involved in a murder plot. Despite his denials, the authorities knew there was more to the case than what was being shown. It's no surprise that 4 years after the last arrests, Yella Beezy's name has surfaced. One fan commented that they should have known this was coming. Some people just do not get why Yella Beezy is out on bond after his arrest. Many fans still trust the justice system, but others are upset. One Reddit user predicted that the next arrest would likely be Yella Beezy's associate, FY. Fans really started buzzing when a judge reduced Yella Beezy's bond from $2 million to $750,000. The internet exploded with anger, with one Twitter user saying, "Typical judge, lets this punk off. Impeach the judge, hell, impeach his grandma too." However, the judge did not let him go without strict rules. According to Billboard, Yella Beezy's bond conditions include house arrest with an ankle monitor, random drug and alcohol testing, and giving up his passport. He is also not allowed to have any firearms or contact any witnesses, victims, or people of interest in the case. Additionally, he must get written permission from the court if he wants to travel outside of Dallas. While the investigation is still unfolding, Reddit users have decided to do their own investigation. Fans believe that YouTuber TLR hinted before that Yella Beezy might have been involved in Mo3's death. The Reddit community thinks that many arrests in the rap world happen because content creators help the feds make connections and bring people in for questioning. One user said they liked TLR's content, but thought he was so federal, meaning that TLR might be helping the police by narrowing their investigations and pushing them to make arrests. They mentioned that this happened with O-Block, Thugga, and now Mo3, and things would have moved faster if Mo3 had not been killed. While that might be true, there is another side to the story. The conflict that led to Mo3's death started between old friends who turned into enemies. This makes it easier for the authorities to know who to investigate and where to focus their efforts. The big question now is, what really led to Mo3's death? When we look at the fight between Mo3 and Yella Beezy, it is clear that there were a few neutral people who made the situation even worse. The beef between Mo3 and Yella Beezy started as a disagreement between two close friends, played a big role in the Dallas rap scene. He gave many local rappers, including Mo3, Freddie, and Yella Beezy, a chance to tell their stories. But it seems like his efforts to bring attention to these rising artists may have led to jealousy and caused longtime friendships to break apart. Sean Cotton explained that after one rapper was interviewed, the others would ask for their chance to share their side of things. This seemed to make the competition worse. People say the trouble began when Sean asked Texas rappers to name their top 5 in the city. Word on the street is that the beef between Mo3, Yella Beezy, Freddie, and Go Yayo started when these artists began finding mainstream success. Said the beef was fueled by jealousy. He said, "We used to be real close, but now it is real beef because you are stuck in one situation, and I am living differently in the same city." In earlier interviews, Yella Beezy made it clear that he and Mo3 were still cool at that time. When Sean Cotton asked Yella to name his top 5 rappers in Dallas, Yella included Mo3 on his list. "I want to hear Yella Beezy's top 5 in the city right now. Yay, DFW, and Mo3, without a doubt," Yella Beezy said. But as time passed, things began to change. Fame brought its own problems, and as Yella Beezy's career grew, he started seeing himself as the top rapper in Dallas. He began claiming control of the city, demanding respect, and making it clear that he ran things. This is when Yella Beezy released his song, Going Through Some Things, where he seemed to take shots at Mo3, saying he was jealous of his success. Yella also hinted that some of his closest friends were acting like women. The music video for the song got almost 50 million views on YouTube, and Yella Beezy's career kept growing. At the same time, Mo3's music was selling, his name was buzzing, and he even worked with Boozy Badass while signing a big record deal with Epic Records. By this point, Mo3 and Yella Beezy were both fighting for the title of King of Dallas, just like Young Dolph and Yo Gotti did in Memphis. The tension between them kept building. Mo3 shared with Sean Cotton 8 years ago that he and Yella Beezy had a misunderstanding. This misunderstanding would later turn into a serious issue, and things between them would never be the same again. There were a lot of misunderstandings between Mo3 and Yella Beezy, with both of them saying things that didn't always match up. Mo3 explained that he and Yella Beezy were able to fix their issues early on and became cool again. However, their peace did not last long. After Mo3 signed a record deal with something tragic happened that changed the direction of his career forever. On May 27, 2017, Mo3 was performing at a concert in Fort Worth. In the middle of the party, gunshots suddenly rang out, and everyone quickly dropped to the ground for safety. Sadly, a man named Hector was shot and lost his life. The next morning, investigators revealed that the shooting was gang-related, which made things worse for Mo3. Soon after, they raided his home, and Mo3 was arrested. He later shared with Cam that he never expected the raid. He was just spending time with his young son when the chaos began. "I heard a knock at the door. It was just me and my son in my condo. The knocking was so loud that I thought, who is knocking that hard? I didn't even think it could be the marshals, Mo3 said. He explained that he was taken into custody and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, with a bond set at $100,000. In an interview with Mo3 revealed that he faced up to 30 years in prison if convicted. He also shared that the marshals let him drive himself to jail, and when he got there, he was treated like a celebrity, joking that it felt like the way might have been treated. Mo3 also talked about how the whole situation affected him financially. He spent thousands of dollars on lawyers, which eventually led to him going broke. He then spoke to about how the shooting at the club negatively impacted his career. After that incident, everything went downhill. Promoters stopped calling me for shows, Mo3 said. On top of that, decided to drop him from the label. After leaving Epic Records, Mo3 released a song called In the music video. He portrayed a scene where he was lying in a morgue. There, an attendant was on the phone, telling someone that Mo3 had been shot and killed in his own city. It was a chilling scene that seemed to predict the tragic fate that would follow. There were rumors that Mo3's shooting was part of a setup and that he took the blame for it. Mo3 never fully told the story, but fans started to connect the dots. When Go Yayo's name came up, people started to talk. Since Yayo is from Fort Worth, the rumor spread that he and Mo3 were having problems at a club that night. They were throwing gang signs and the tension kept building. As things heated up, Dallas comedian Roy Lee, who was close to Mo3, got caught up in the drama. When Roy Lee was asked about what happened between Mo3 and Go Yayo at the club, he made some strong comments. He said that Mo3 was fighting against both Fort Worth and Dallas together. He also mentioned that at that time in his career, Mo3 needed the police to protect him. Even though Roy Lee was just a comedian, his words were not taken as a joke. Instead, they made the situation worse and added more trouble to the ongoing gang conflict in Dallas. Roy Lee took on Mo3's enemies and kept sending shots at Go Yayo. He even made a comment about Yella Beezy, saying that while Yella claimed to be in control of the city, he got robbed in the very city he said he owned. Roy Lee also suggested that Yella got robbed because he was not really from the streets. After the interview, things took a bad turn when a fight broke out between Yella Beezy and Roy Lee at the King of Diamonds nightclub. Roy Lee later shared on his Instagram that Yella and his crew jumped him because of what he said in the interview. Roy Lee stuck to his story and said he was not lying. He even told Yella that if he wanted to settle things, he was ready for a one-on-one fight. Roy Lee called Yella directly, saying, "I am not talking to them, I am talking to you. I want the one-on-one with you." He told Yella's crew to calm down. Roy Lee said he only needed 4 people with him, and Yella could bring as many people as he wanted. The tension kept growing, and it felt like something big was about to happen. "I hit up that rapper, you made him famous, yeah, barely made it, but he will not again," directly saying that he had something to do with the shooting. Mo3 also mentioned Freddie's shooting on a Sprinter bus, hinting he was involved there too, and sent some shots at Go Yayo as well. This just made everything even more tense in the city. Go Yayo did not stay silent for long. He jumped on Instagram Live to respond to Mo3's diss track. Yayo denied Mo3's claims about the shooting, accusing Mo3 of releasing 219 on Roy Lee's birthday just to get attention. Yayo called Mo3's words cap and made it clear that he was upset. The beef between Mo3 and his former friends was now all over the internet, and things were getting hotter by the day. Then, another tragedy was about to happen that would change everything in Dallas. In November 2020, Mo3 was tragically killed on the Dallas Expressway. Dallas police responded to a shooting on Interstate 35 and found Mo3, who was dying. He was rushed to the hospital, but sadly, he later passed away from his injuries. It was reported that Mo3 had just left the home of a woman he had been with the night before. On his way home, he realized he was being followed by a black Chevrolet Camaro with 2 shooters inside. The chase was caught on a dash cam video, but it cannot be shown here due to YouTube's guidelines. In the video, Mo3 tried to escape by slamming on the brakes and getting out of his car to grab his firearm. But the shooters were closing in quickly. MO3 changed his mind and decided to run down the highway in an attempt to get away. Unfortunately, the shooters caught up with him, and he was shot 9 times. He was left in the middle of the highway, fighting for his life, while the shooters drove off in the Camaro. The hardest part for MO3's fans was that the police did not respond immediately. MO3's body was left on the highway for hours, and many people took pictures and shared them online. Some people tried to save him by performing CPR, but sadly, their efforts were in vain. After MO3's death, his enemies wasted no time celebrating. Trap Boy Freddy posted a video of himself stuck in traffic caused by MO3's shooting, clearly showing no respect for what had happened. Even though fans were concerned about the violence in rap culture, MO3's death was not the last tragedy to hit the Texas rap scene. On March 3rd, another rapper named Lil Ronnie was killed along with his 5-year-old daughter in Forest Hill. Fans believed his death might be connected to the ongoing beef between Freddy and MO3. The shooting happened at the Sappy Express car wash around 11 a.m. 2 men in a white Kia pulled up and started shooting at them. A nearby resident reported hearing over 12 shots fired in the area. When the police arrived, they had trouble controlling the crowd and had to call for more help. Ronnie's family later confirmed that he and his daughter, Ramani Sybil, were the victims. Ronnie's aunt, Stella Houston, spoke to the news, saying that Ronnie was just a rapper and did not deserve to die like this. The city was shaken once again by another tragedy in the violent rap scene. Lil Ronnie was a good kid who never caused trouble. He kept to himself and did not bother anyone. It is so sad that his 5-year-old daughter was with him when the shooting happened. In the surveillance footage that TMZ got, it is clear that Lil Ronnie was the target of the attack. Sadly, his daughter was in the car with him. Some people think the shooters may have purposely killed the little girl. A Reddit user said there's a video showing Lil Ronnie trying to escape with his daughter, but the shooters came back and got her too. However, other reports tell a different story. The police think the shooting is connected to a gang dispute. 2 days after the murder, the police named Jacoby Russell and Adonis Robinson as the suspects. Adonis, who is 24 years old, was arrested in Livingston, Texas, around 75 miles east of Houston. It turns out Adonis has a long history of violence and is a registered sex offender. Court records show he was charged and convicted in 2019 for assaulting a woman near Marine Creek Reservoir. Even though the investigation is still early, fans are blaming Lil Ronnie's death on his connection to Goyeo. Some people even believe Lil CJ Casino might have had a part in it. But no matter how long it takes, the police are determined to find the truth and make sure everyone involved is caught and arrested.